Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing? Hopefully, you're all doing very, very well and enjoying the weather we've got right now. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Also, don't forget, follow me on Instagram, please. Ade Oladipo, loads of behind the scenes content coming your way. I'm going to try and get a lot more busier on my Instagram. So if you haven't followed me, please do. Ade Oladipo. All right, let's talk about last night's boxing. Dereck Chisora finally getting the rub of the green and getting one of those tight decisions. I have to admit, watching it, I wasn't quite sure who won, but gun to the head, I would have said Pulev. I would have said Pulev by a couple of the rounds. I thought he landed the cleaner shots. Chisora, fights the way Chisora does, very bullish. But I thought the cleaner work, and that's kind of what I like to see, was from Pulev. But I was happy that Chisora got the win, just because I'm old enough to remember Chisora fighting Helenius, a fight I thought he won and not getting that decision. Dillian Whyte the first time round is a fight I thought he won and not getting that decision. And maybe even to an extent the Parker fight, the first one, and not getting that decision. So I'm happy that he got one. I'm happy for him. Obviously, you guys saw me, I did the post-fight interview, and he took his hat off and said, I'm happy, but I'm also very, very sad. And I thought he was going to announce his retirement. I thought there and then I got my win in front of, how many were there yesterday? 9,000 at the O2 Arena. That's it. It seemed almost perfect for it as well. Pulev clearly isn't the Pulev of old, but Pulev's still a guy that's only been beaten by Klitschko and AJ. It's funny, we say that, but then you say, okay, who's he fought? But the fact is, he's only been beaten by Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua. So I thought it was almost not the perfect fight to go out on, but a win nonetheless. It's good to go out on a win, right? You want to control your own destiny when it comes to boxing, and I thought he was going to do that. He walked into the ring, obviously with Elvis Presley music, which just worked for some reason. It just worked. And the security guard tried to usher him up the steps, but Chisora kind of barged past the security guard, and he done like a long walk round, I think to his two daughters, and I'm not quite sure if that's his wife. And it almost looked like he was saying goodbye, like doing that long walk round the ring, as opposed to going straight up the ring. And again, when he took his hat off, I really thought he was going to say it's over. But then he said, you know what? He wants the bronze bomber. He wants Deontay Wilder, which, not for me. No. No. Watching both of them in the ring, look, Chisora got the win, and look, very happy he got the win. But I was watching two very, very old men scrap it out yesterday. To the point, and I'm not going to say who it was, but there was a guy next to me, and he was like, I think Fabio Wardley can beat Chisora. So, you know what I mean? And Fabio Wardley is the English heavyweight champion. So that's how far that person thinks Chisora's fallen. Or maybe because they think Fabio is so good. So, it can be a bit of both, right? But Chisora looked very, 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 very sluggish, like crossing his feet. Look, Chisora always telegraphs his overhand right, but it was almost, I don't know, it was so telegraphed that he's clearly slowed down so much. And that's why I want that to be his last fight. I'm not quite sure about his punch resistance anymore. He got caught with one uppercut. He defended the uppercuts quite well yesterday. He kind of done that cross that he does. And so it was difficult for Pulev to really land the uppercut. But one went through and he kind of stumbled back. I think it was around 4 or 5. But Chisora being Chisora, he sort of bit on that gum shield and fired back. And, I did like the fact that Don Charles was in his corner. There were a couple of other sort of old school people that have been around since the get-go in his corner. I've been lucky enough to be invited to that gym. Like one of my first ever things I did with Ryan when we used to have box talk was go to Chisora's gym, and we saw Chisora spar Dubois, and that gym welcomed us. That's why I mentioned in the post-fight interview that it's good to see the old band back together. And that's why it made even more sense for me for it to be his last fight. The old band back together, you get the win, you come out to fucking Elvis Presley, your wife and kids are there, it's perfect. But no, he wants one more. And I wonder what the one more is going to be. Look, it won't be Deontay Wilder. I say it won't be. I mean, I don't know Deontay Wilder's sort of contract situation with PBC, but I mean, look, if Eddie can pay Deontay Wilder silly money to come over, Deontay Wilder will happily, I think, come over and fight Dereck Chisora. The press conference will be fun. It'll be entertaining. I don't think the fight will be. I don't think so. I mean, look, Deontay Wilder was half a second away from being, I don't know, the unified heavyweight, the WBC heavyweight champion. He's very, very good, very, very powerful. He's taken a lot of damage. But I don't want that fight. I mean, there surely are fun fights out there. Like right now, with Dillian Whyte coming off a knockout loss to Fury and not looking great in that fight at all, maybe that's a fight to make, the third one. Maybe you make the third one. I thought Chisora won the first fight. Obviously, Dillian Whyte knocked out Chisora in the second. Maybe you run it back again with that. I think the public will jump on that. It's got to be a fight, especially if Chisora wants to get paid, and you heard him speak about getting paid after. It's got to be a fight that can headline. So as much as I say names like Kalnaki and fucking, who else, Helenius rematch, I don't know if the crowd will get behind those. I think the crowd will get behind a Dillian Whyte fight. And if you're DAZN and Eddie, you want to try and make sure Dillian Whyte's next fight is on DAZN. You want that. And you want Chisora's next fight to be on DAZN. These guys clearly have one fight contracts with Match'em on DAZN. So they don't look like they're tied down to anything. So you want to secure them for their next fights. Why not put them together? Why not put them together? As a fight, I thought the fight was messy and horrible. And look, a lot of you mentioned this when the fight was made. And I said, look, now I think it's going to be carnage. And you were right, I was wrong. It was very, very messy to watch. A war of attrition. But in terms of a spectacle, it wasn't what I was expecting. Pulev's fight's very negative. Like very, very negative. And I would never want to see him fight again. Honestly, I do not want to see a Pulev fight ever again. He's 41, he'll continue. I think he's got to continue for other reasons that we'll discuss on another video, but I don't want to see him fight again because it was a horrible fight. It really was. Fucking David Haye, at one stage, I'm ringside with a few people and they're asking Tony Bellew and David Haye to give their scorecards. Tony Bellew's I thought was quite respectable. Tony Bellew I think actually even thought Pulev might have edged it. So Tony Bellew's scorecard I think very fair. We looked to David at one stage and said, David, who's winning? He was like, 7. Chisora 7-0. Give the first 7 rounds to Chisora. I was like, okay, stop. Stop, David. Jesus Christ. What else is on the card? Madrimov versus Soro. I mean, the card was kind of cursed, wasn't it? I mean, you think of Felix Cash versus Vaughan Alexander would have been a good fight off. Madrimov was starting to go through the gears against Soro. Soro gets an eye clash, a cut on the eye, which I thought he could have continued with, if I'm honest. You looked at it and I thought, it looked bad at first, but then I was like, yeah, wasn't that bad a cut, so that could have continued, but that didn't. Obviously, we get to see Fabio Ward. It should have been Kingsley eBay. It wasn't. So it wasn't the greatest card, was it? Just because of the way things sort of just fell off and worked. Ramla Ali had a lot of support in there. Idris Elba was there yesterday. By the way, loads of stars were ringside. I've never seen that many kind of people from the entertainment world around a boxing event since I've been covering them anyway. So it's good to see them there. But overall, maybe not the best card. But I think a perfect card for Chisora to bow out of. But he won't. He'll continue. Who do you think Chisora should fight next? I'm an ideal opponent would be Dillian Whyte would be number 1. Helenius looked a bit good against Kalnaki second time round. That's now a dangerous fight for me. I don't know. Bacoli doesn't really do the numbers for. Sorry, did I say Dillian Whyte to fight? Sorry, I meant Chisora if I said Dillian Whyte. Bacoli, doesn't do the numbers, so I don't think it's going to be that Dillian Whyte in it. I'm going round and round. It's got to be Dillian Whyte unless Eddie can do something crazy with Deontay Wilder and offer him something ridiculous. Ray Vargas beat Mark Magsayo. I've not seen the fight, so there's no point me getting into it. I know that Ray Vargas had to get off the floor, but he's the number 1 now. It's a stacked division, but I thought Gary Russell was. Mark Magsayo beat Gary Russell. Mark Magsayo just lost to Ray Vargas. That's the way it works for me. So yeah, Ray Vargas looks very, very good. Very big at the weight. And I need to watch that fight. But for me, he is the guy right now. Is there anything else to quickly talk about before we move on? 2 secs. By the way, Felix Cash falling ill. I think think that's like 3 or 4 fights now in the space of 18 months where there's been an issue. They're going to need to look at what's going on here with Felix. I mean, he looked incredible at the weigh. And look, when you deplete your body the way he obviously depletes it, because he's very big for 160. When you deplete your body like that, it's prone to things, isn't it? You're depleting it of everything to make weight. So you can understand how close you are to that getting ill. Does that make any sense? But they are going to need to look at whether it's a jump to 168, where the problem is, you know, he's big for 160, he's small for 168. We'll see what happens with him now. Golovkin says third fight with Canelo helps him financially retire. I don't want to hear those things. I don't even want to hear those things. Yeah, I'm not want to hear that. I don't want to hear any retirement talk whatsoever. You know, I've heard some people, and this is about Jake Paul now. He's obviously fighting Hasim Rahman Jr. And a lot of people have said that Hasim Rahman ain't good. And I get all that. Hasim Rahman isn't a great fighter. I get that. Jake Paul is fighting a legit boxer now. Like, let's not do this. Let's not then say, oh, but Hasim Rahman shit. He's fighting a legit boxer. A legit boxer who's bigger than him, who might be stronger than him, who's had way more fights than him. Like, he's a legit boxer, Hasim Rahman. He's not a guy that, you know, he's not a YouTuber turned boxer or an influencer turned boxer. He's a boxer. So let's give Jake Paul some fucking credit for doing this. I mean, Hasim Rahman is probably better. It's close. I don't really know, to be honest. He's probably better than Tommy Fury. He's fighting a legit boxer. And I think he deserves a lot of credit, especially fighting a legit boxer on such late notice. Like, this could have been the excuse of, oh, look, well, you know, we tried to get Tommy Fury, the show must go on, let's get anyone. You know, he's got Hasim Rahman. And that's still not enough to kind of, for people to give him his props. Give him his props, man. He deserves his props. We'll see what happens. You see how fit Hasim Rahman is? That's my only concern, but it's a boxer, so I've got to give him credit for it. I've just been told as well by DAZN, I think it will be confirmed, but I'm letting you guys know because you my people then, I'm probably working that KSI fight card for DAZN, August 27th, O2 Arena. I think I'm the presenter for it, which is going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure what to expect from it. I can expect craziness, if I'm honest with you. I'm probably a bit old for craziness, but I think it will be fun. Something different as well. And obviously I'm trying to add different things to my CV, and this will be a bit different to see what a KSI fight. I expect it to be sold out as well, by the way. I don't know what the capacity is for O2. Is it 18, 20,000? I expect there to be 18, 20,000 screaming kids and tons of influencers, which I am not. But it should be fun nonetheless. Let's have a quick look and see if there's anything else trending that we can have a little chit chat about. I saw Conor Benn yesterday at the event. I was going to ask him about the Chris Eubank thing, but I don't think it is happening. Like, I'm not. It's weird. Some say it's happening, and some are like, yeah, but I don't know. Like, if it is happening, Matchroom don't have a fight card now until August 6th. So that's Dalton Smith fighting for the British title, but it's considered like a next-gen card. You would have announced it yesterday. Surely you would have got Eubank and Ben in the ring yesterday to do a little face-off, to really announce it in front of the crowd, you know. So I'm not sure, and there's been a lot of talk now about Eubank versus Liam Smith, so I'm not convinced. Anything else before we wrap? No, I think, guys and girls, I think that is it. Very, very quick video. Go out there, enjoy the sun, live life a little bit. Peace and love.